This is Ghent, Belgium, and its stunning medieval centre, full of European charm with its buildings steeped in history, soaring Gothic cathedrals, and even an eye-catching castle dating back to the Middle Ages. The historic centre is crowded as tourists jostle for space alongside taxis, cyclists, trams, and buses. You don't see many cars and even fewer trucks here, not just due to the lack of space, but also because Ghent has made its historic centre a low-emission zone, essentially banning polluting vehicles to retain its charm and livability. But what makes Ghent everything someone dreams of when they imagine traveling to Europe also makes it more and more difficult to get deliveries into the old city centre from the more modern streets on the outside. While Ghent keeps traffic down on its crowded old streets, the canals that weave their way through and around the city could provide a potential solution. Enter the North Sea Region Avatar Project. They want to use those waterways to enable deliveries into the historic centre and do it using a clean, green, no-emissions electric barge. With their own barge still under construction, today they've borrowed another vessel called the Green Wave from another North Sea Region project in order to put their idea to the test.
So today we will do a test related to city freight distribution. Some construction material will be loaded on the Green Wave, as you can see, and then from here we will have a trip towards the center of the city of Ghent to unload the construction material.
Once the crane truck loads all the pallets onto the Green Wave, a fairly quick and easy process, it is time to begin our journey through the canal system. Almost immediately, we get our first taste of the challenges of traveling in Ghent by water. As it turns out, using the canals requires a barge built to very specific requirements.
The ship is tailor-made for Ghent, but also we looked also to other cities as Amsterdam, Utrecht, Paris, and so on. So specific for Ghent is a low keel. There are only 40 centimeters of keel, and the height of the ship itself. So we can go under every bridge. There are a lot of bridges in Ghent which are fixed, cannot go open, and with this ship we can. The next development, the Avatar ship, will have 20 ton of ballast. So we can move 40 extra centimeters down, and the capacity of loading is 25 tons.
On board with us is Bram Waits, who has a keen interest in today's trip as he's heavily involved in the construction of the new Avatar e-barge. This new electric barge will be piloted remotely from Rotterdam. That means it will need special equipment and cameras to consider along with the cargo demands. Seeing what works and what doesn't as the Green Wave navigates the canal system could impact aspects of the design and construction of this new vessel.
Yeah, some big challenges ahead. Make sure that the equipment doesn't get damaged, that we have a good reception. We have higher walls at certain areas as well. So all these things need to be considered. Considering that when we have that vessel under remote control, there won't be anybody on board to make any adjustments, so we'll all have to automate that.
I wondered if there was anything that Bram had seen on this trip that caused him concern over the design of the new vessel.
Specifically the information of that very low bridge that we just passed, and that is going to bring a challenge for us. Because like you see right now, we have certain brackets, but we have to manually move them because of that bridge that we have to pass under. So in the future, we're going to have a system where, like I said, potentially we need to go as high as possible, also for the cameras to have a good view. All these things need to be or low, or we have to find a system that raises them and lowers them. And that's the challenge for the next vessel. Mind your head, because we're going to pass under another bridge here. If you film it, you're going to see there's not much left. And in this case, we have to calculate also the fact at the low water level. Not only that, we're navigating really close to the wall right now. This especially what we're seeing right now, we need cameras more or less on the outside. We have to make sure we don't damage the equipment. That means we're going to have to make some structural modifications.
After winding our way through the canal system and under even more low bridges, we reach our destination to offload the barge's cargo. But the crane truck hasn't arrived yet.
We arrived first here in the city center of Ghent, and we are still waiting for the truck. So it proves that going into the city with the truck, it's a risk for waiting time. So now we have to wait a little bit more for the truck.
Eventually, the crane truck shows up, gets into position, and swings into action, quickly offloading the pallets of construction materials and then stacking them on the street near the building site. That done, it's time for the green wave to begin the journey back through the canals to where we started. Except this return trip is being done with a sense of accomplishment. What was an idea and then years of work has passed a major hurdle, bringing it a big step closer to becoming a reality.
So today we had a successful test. We have seen the difficult parts what we have to take into account when we're going towards the development of an autonomous vessel. So we will put all the lessons together, and all lessons will be used for the development of the new Avatar vessel the coming months. So really looking forward to that.
Funding from the North Sea region made all the difference for the Avatar project.
The Interreg North Sea region was the basic idea we can develop this ship.
Next, the goal is to get the new Avatar barge finished and into the water for its own trial run this fall as the project works with the city of Ghent for a greener, more sustainable future.